This is Dr. Tahir. In this video, I will demonstrate for you some more skills related to Megastat, Microsoft Excel. I will show you how to run correlation and regression analysis using Megastat. As you know, the correlation is a correlation between two variables. It shows the strength or weakness of relationship between two variables. So first of all, we need two variables that we can link up. I suggest that we look at the size of the homes and the price of the homes. So that's a very obvious relationship that we can predict is a positive relationship. In a positive relationship, the bigger the size of the home, the more the price of the home. So that's what our prediction is, and let's find out how true is our prediction and how true is our hypothesis. We know that there is a positive relationship, but let's see if there is in this data set. So in order to run correlation analysis, you would go into Megastat, correlation regression, and scatter plot. The scatter plot would plot the relations of these two variables that we just picked, the size of the home and the price of the home, on a graph, and each dot would show that relationship. So and then we would get an overall correlation number as well. So let's run the scatter plot. We click on the scatter plot. You get this dialog box, and the dialog box is asking you your horizontal axis and your vertical axis. The horizontal axis is the independent axis, or the predictor. That's the one that's predicting the vertical axis. So out of these two variables, price and size, which one is predicting the other? It's very obvious that the size of the home predicts the price of the home. That's our hypothesis, that the bigger the size, the more the price. So the size is the one that's affecting the price. So we click on the horizontal axis and we select the data. You know that you click on the first observation and then click and drag down to select all of the observations in the data set. We come back to the dialog box. We have selected the horizontal axis. Now let's select the vertical axis. So we click on this negative sign and we go from the bottom up and we select each and every price in the column A, which is the price variable. We go back into the dialog box. We have selected both of our variable on the horizontal axis, which shows the predictor, or the one that's predicting the vertical axis, is our size. The size predicts the price, and then we selected the vertical axis, which is being predicted. We do the chart of the title, the title of the chart. We just put correlation between size of and price. We want to plot the linear regression line, and everything is all set and ready to go. We click OK. Now we got our results for the scatter plot. So in this scatter plot, this is the best fit line, means that this line has an equal average distance between the line and the dots, and the slope of the line is a positive slope, means that it is a positive correlation. Now, how positive is this correlation? We need to determine that based on the R value, but the scatter plot only gives us the R squared value, which you can get the square root of it and get an R value, and that would show you the correlation coefficient R, which ranges between -1 and +1. The +1 shows perfect positive correlation. If the x-axis moves up 1 point, the y-axis also moves up by exactly 1 point. The -1 shows the perfect negative correlation. If the x-axis moves down 1 point, the y-axis moves down 1 point as well. Moves up 1 point. So it's a negative correlation. When one goes up, the other one goes down. So first of all, we rename the worksheet as we always do. So let me call this task 3. Now let's get back into our data and run regression. So we go into add-ins, Megastat, correlation regression analysis, regression analysis. So independent variable x, which is our horizontal axis, is the size of the home, because size is the one that predicts the price. You need to have that right. And the dependent variable is the price. We go back into the main dialog box. That's all we need to do. Just select the x-axis, which is the independent variable. Nothing affects this, but this affects the other. So the size affects the price, so therefore the size is the x-axis, x variable, and the price is the y variable. We click OK. First thing we do is we rename the worksheet. Let's call it task 4. Now here it's giving us, as you know, when you see these train tracks, you can go in between the two columns and double click and it would expand enough to show everything in the data. So the R value that we have here is the correlation coefficient. We predicted a positive correlation. It's a moderate positive correlation, not a strong positive correlation, because this number is not very close to 1. It's more closer to 0.25 and 0 than it is to 1. So it's not as much positive of a correlation as we predicted. So the scatter plot shows you the trend, which is upward sloping, which is a positive slope. But the R, correlation coefficient, shows you exactly how much positive this correlation is. Is it close to 1 positive or close to 0 positive, or not positive at all? So that is the correlation coefficient R, and this is how we run the scatter plot. So this concludes this video. In this video I explained to you how to run correlation analysis and get regression equation using Megastat in a Microsoft Excel application.